Hello everybody, welcome to the channel Chats and Reacts, and today we will be reacting to a more educational video, which I think a lot of people, especially in this generation, can relate to, which is called You're Not Boring, You Just Lack Social Skills. So let's see if we can learn anything from this. Let's get right into it.
Highly sociable people do things differently. They act differently, talk differently, go to parties differently, make plans differently. And I know because I've been both. I've had a 4-year transformation being the very shy, insecure girl who would go into every room feeling like no one ever wanted to talk to me, to the highly confident person, content creator, student doctor, who literally strikes up conversation with strangers every single day. I used to ask myself things like, why does no one ever want to talk to me? Why do people ignore me in group situations? Why do people never ask about me when I ask about them? 4 years ago, I lived in a social anxiety bubble, scared to step out and be my true self. Now I feel like I'm my true self like all the time, like no one can stop me. Along the way, I've learned a few things that highly sociable and confident people do differently, and I'm going to share every single one of them in this video.
Okay, let's hear it.
Hey, if you're new, I'm Christina and I make videos for people who are feeling lonely. If you're a people pleaser, overachiever, overthinker, over anythinger, you're in the right place. When it comes to becoming a highly sociable, confident person, if you want to make friends, counterintuitive, but bear with me, stop saying yes and start saying no. Yes exudes insecurity when it comes to social situations, and
she's probably going to elaborate on why she says this, but I'm sure she's saying that, like, if you're a yes person, being a people pleaser and all that, you're worried about how people will respond or think of you if you say no to certain things. And, I was in that position too before with some online friends. They were pretty toxic for me, but I wanted the friendship, as I'm sure plenty other people were in that spot, and they would say yes a lot, all the time actually, like yeah, sure, or yeah, then even if you have that little urge to say no, there's that pushback that says no, you cannot say no. You need to say yes. Don't risk losing these people. So, yeah, but it's not good to always say yes if you don't want to do certain things. You need to learn to say no as well. And if they're your true people, then they'll respect you when you say no. You don't feel like you have to come up with an elaborate excuse. So I agree with what she's saying here. Let's keep going.
no exudes confidence in social situations. Social situations, that's such a tongue twister. Stop saying yes and start saying no when it comes to meeting up with someone who you don't really want to but you feel obliged to. It applies to helping someone who only ever reaches out whenever they want to take from you. They never actually help you yourself. And it applies to like that relative that whenever you meet up, you always feel like you have to agree to keep the peace and just make face.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but screw the peace. It is not worth being a shell of a person if you can't speak up. Stop saying yes and start saying no is so powerful, because chances are you think to make more friends, be more sociable, you need to meet more people. That is a lie. The number one thing you need in terms of to be more sociable and to make more friends isn't meeting more people, it's confidence. You can be an insecure person and meet 20 new people in 20 days, or you can be a confident person and meet 5 people in 5 days. Trust me, as someone who's been both of those people, you can be the confident person and make more meaningful connections with 5 people because you're just so much more willing to go there, to say things, to be counterintuitive and stop saying yes and start saying no. You're more confident in the situation. You're more confident being yourself, saying things and opening up, being vulnerable, sharing a funny story, saying something that's controversial, you're not sure if they'll agree with you, saying a joke that could be offensive, it could be stepping it too far, but you're just confident. Versus the insecure person who is probably going to, first of all, they're going to be scared to say hi. They're going to be scared to
Yep.
say hi. They might meet a new person and all they want to do is they're literally praying in their mind, crossing their fingers that the other person is going to say hi first. Then when it comes to talking, they're going to be scared to even go deep in the conversation. They're not going to know where to start.
True.
Oh, I'm shy at first, but once you get to know me, then I'm amazing. Then I'm crazy. Then I literally won't shut up. But how do we get there first? They're scared to go deep. They'll keep it surface level. I've started it off with this because it's one of the most.
This is really true. That's true as well. And is it just me, or I see people my age or a little older. I'm I don't ever approach them, even when I say, "Oh, I want to meet people my age." I think it'd be fun to have the same age group as my friends that will relate to me. But when I see one, no, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
I'll never take the chance. But it's easy to talk to the younger ones, and I think that's because when you're younger, we don't have all these complex things in our minds like um we're basically just around for fun and just meeting people and saying whatever and then playing around. With adults or like, people your age, my age, there's more of a you feel like there's a structure to how you need to present yourself. We just want to stay in this little box to make sure we're in line and this person isn't like getting judgmental in their heads or anything, because when we're older we do get a lot more judgmental, and I'm pretty sure that is the reason why we're all worried to talk to our range.
Powerful ones. You have to start saying no. It's counterintuitive because you think if I say yes to people, yes, I'll go out, even though I don't want to, even though I'm exhausted. Yes, I'll help you with your project, even though you never help me with anything. Yes, I'll just keep nodding along. I'll just say yes to everything. That is not the sort of person that a lot of people want to be friends with. It's harsh, but it's true. And sometimes the harsh truth is what you want to hear if you really want to make a massive transformation. So that's rule number one of being a highly sociable person. Rule number two is ask people about themselves. No one is more annoying than a person in a conversation that is only ever talking about themselves. They're just yapping on and on and on, talking about themselves, talking about their family, what they're having for lunch, what they're doing in the afternoon, in their evening plans, what they're going on holiday. Like, you haven't asked about me, like, once. I might be preaching to the converted because I'm sure if you clicked on this video, you're the sort of person that does ask people about themselves, but don't take it too far. I had this massive problem in the past where I'd ask people about themselves constantly, keep asking them questions. I've got so many things to say to them and ask them, but I would never open up and talk about me. And that is a problem. You
Mm.
can take this too far on the extreme end. You cannot ask people about themselves enough, or you can ask people about themselves too much. You definitely want to have a balance. Yesterday is the perfect example of this. So I'm a student doctor, I'm a medical student. I was on the ward yesterday with a nurse, I was shadowing her, and she was talking to me about a family in-law problem. Essentially, someone in the family has sadly passed away. She actually didn't know this person, so it's a bit like she's a bit removed from the situation. And she was telling me all the family drama and gossip about how who's in the will, who's not in the will, the person in the will is taking all the money, and there's like it was so chaotic and problematic. It was such a personal problem, like literally someone's passed away and they're literally talking about the will. But because I was so like willing to listen to her and I was asking about her, she was telling me all this information. She was asking me about my degree and how I'm doing and how I'm graduating soon and how I'm feeling about it. And I was telling her about my mum and how I'm really close to my mum and just so much stuff. It was such a back and forth. And I feel like the perfect conversation is when you have a balance between person to person. You're asking each other equally about each other, and no one's gatekeeping information about themselves. The other person isn't like word vomiting and just only ever talking about them. Tell people what you're
True.
going through. I have this
True. That is really true. There needs to be a balance. Talking only about yourself, no one's gonna like that. So, two things that go through my head is what questions should I ask? Because some questions, I don't want it to sound like, it's read from a script or something that's really meh for a conversation to be enjoyable, or asking too many questions and it's just like I'm a job interviewer. With asking people back, that is a little difficult.
very deep and genuine connection with one of my friends. Is actually weird. Like, we are so weirdly honest with each other. We bonded 2 years ago. We were both very lonely. At my university, where you're a medical student on placement, you can be placed miles away. We were placed in this very small town with a few other people. We were kind of like a tight-knit group, all like isolated from the city centre where we all were before. And because a lot of us had left our friends behind, left our like flats behind, our apartment behind, like we felt like just so lonely and isolated, but none of us would really open up about it. Me and this person in particular met up one day. I think we went for like a coffee or something, and literally one of the first things that we both said was just how lonely we felt. We both opened up and bonded on the fact that we were going through like such a tough time. We didn't have any of our friends close by us. We felt like we were just so lonely. We didn't really enjoy what we were learning about as well. It was one of those rare moments where you open up to someone and you just are so lucky that they feel the exact same way. And I could have done what insecure Christina would have done. I could have just like been like, oh yeah, I'm fine. Like I'd put a mask up, I'd put my walls up, I'd lie and be like, yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine. I'd just keep it all very like neutral and not say anything about how I feel. But me and this person were so lucky in the sense that we both felt exactly the same. Like we both opened up, we both were vulnerable, we both stepped out of our comfort zone and said like, I am feeling lonely, I do feel a bit lost, I do feel like I don't want to be here, I don't want to be miles away from my friends and like just in the middle of nowhere in this placement in this weird dingy hospital. Like we both opened up and we both felt the same. And what's crazy about this friendship is I don't even see this person that often. I probably see them like once every like 2 months. Yet our bond is so deep, and like if I met up with this person tomorrow, I know we would both be like so equally connected, and like we would both like resonate with each other. We'd both like pick up where we left off because our connection is just so deep. If you want to go from being the insecure person that has lots of surface level friendship and acquaintances to the person who has maybe a good few friends and just people just like know you and they get you, and no matter if you see this person once a year, once every 2 months, you just are connected and you guys will pick up where you left off. You have to start opening up and telling people what you're going through. I know it's scary because I've been there. I've been that person that's scared to talk about how I feel. I've been the person that's scared to talk about my mental health. But if you want those deep friendships and those deep connections, you just have to go there. Maybe you'll be lucky
That's
and they feel the
true.
same way. Maybe you'll be unlucky and they don't feel the same way. All that matters is just that you opened up. You are not trying to get a certain response. You are not doing it so that they agree with you or they feel the same way. That's not the way to go about it. Your goal is only just to open up. Start connecting with people online. Some of the moments where I felt most seen and understood, and I've literally had tears in my eyes as I'm sending like DM messages with someone, have been with someone that's thousands of miles away. Don't limit your social interactions with people that you just see day to day or people in person. There is so much connection to be had online. I do this thing currently, which I highly recommend to you guys, where currently on LinkedIn, I know LinkedIn isn't everyone's favorite, but I've tried to curate my LinkedIn feed so it's actually like really helpful and inspiring and not like full of people bragging about their jobs. I will reach out or comment or DM someone who I just find like they shared a post where I really resonate with their experience. A lot of my LinkedIn now is people sharing their failures. I think because the more you engage with something, the more it shows you more. My LinkedIn feed
Yeah.
now is very like relatable, very inspiring, very like people who are just sharing experiences. And what I've started doing is I'll just send a DM to someone being like, hi, like I saw your post. I really resonate with what you said. I feel like no one ever talks about this. Like I'm so glad I've seen your profile. And I do not expect anything. I'm not trying to get anything from it. Like my goal is just to send the DM and just spread a little bit of positivity to say that like this post that you've shared, oh my god, thank you for sharing it. And I have been blown away by the amount of times that someone, like the person has replied saying like oh my god, like I literally had a really long in-depth conversation with someone the other day where they were sending like paragraphs and paragraphs about their experiences and we were just going back and forth. I was literally sending voice notes to a woman that I followed for months. I've loved her content for months. I sent a DM. I did not expect anything from it. 5, stop taking things personally. No, I'm not free. Sorry, I can't hang out tonight. Sorry, I promised my sister I'd pick her up from work. I can't do like next week. Sorry. No, I can't do Saturday. I could probably do another time though. If you're the sort of person that messages someone to hang out or spend time together and they say no and you take it personally, we have a lot of work to do. Insecure people think that the world revolves around them. And as
Yeah.
someone who's previously insecure, I'm
Yeah, one of my ex friends was like that. It's really never personal unless you see some reason that it could be personal. Like there's like the secret hate or something like that. Like they're just giving you reasons to not be around you. But if it's just a simple, you can't do it right now, then it's not personal. The person would say that to anybody who was trying to get their time in that moment, and people like that don't see that for some reason. So let's see if she's gonna dive more into that.
you might be thinking like no I don't, like no I don't think the world revolves around me, like no it doesn't. If someone says no, they're busy, they've got some sort of reason, and you're now thinking, oh, they don't actually like me, like they're just saying that, like no they don't want to hang out with me, I knew they didn't like me, I knew that they wanted an excuse. You're thinking about yourself so much, you don't even realize it, but you're actually being a bit like self-absorbed. You think that everything revolves around you. Like they have a whole entire schedule, whole entire personal life, hobbies, work life, university outside of you. There's a time and a place for where someone's making excuses constantly every time you message them. Maybe that person genuinely doesn't actually want to spend time with you, but don't overthink
Yeah.
it. Just go with your gut. Do not spend days and days and days and weeks like going back and forth between does this person like me, does this person not. If you have a gut feeling, trust that and honestly just move on. Do not prolong like a week friendship that's being strung along and just like being prolonged for no reason. Like, don't waste your own time. Cut people off when you get a bad gut feeling. But on the other hand, if you're taking things personally and thinking that people saying no is about you, everything that they're saying means something about you, that is a problem. And you'll understand what I mean if you're a really busy person. Sometimes I think when you're insecure, maybe you just need to get a hobby, and you need to actually like have a bit of a busy calendar, have a busy schedule, have things you're doing after work, after university, after classes. When someone then says no, you'll understand, like, oh yeah, like you're busy, like totally get it. I'm like super busy too. Like you don't take it personally. Sometimes I think if you are taking it personally as well, someone says no and you're actually like a little bit offended and a little bit upset, you might be looking for validation a little bit. Sometimes if someone says yes to you, yes, I want to hang out, and you get like excited and happy that like they want to hang out with me, like I'm valuable now, I am finally someone people want to be friends with, I'm a good person now. If you're taking it personally to mean something about you, it just might be a sign that you are looking for validation, and that's not a bad thing. I spoke about this more in my video where it's all about you're not looking for friends, you're looking for validation. I'm gonna link it up here if you want to watch that one. It's such a common thing when you're insecure. Like you don't actually want the friend, you kind of just want the validation that like people like you now, people want to be friends with you, and those are different things. But back to my main point, stop taking no personally. Them saying no doesn't mean anything about you. If you apply my rule number 1, which is stop saying yes, start saying no, when you start saying no, you're okay with other people saying no. If other people say no to you and it's a problem, it's just a sign that maybe you lack boundaries a little bit. But again, totally okay. I've been there. Trust me, I know what it's like. You probably need to work on more saying no to other people. Stop saying yes and start saying no. Get a hobby or get a side hustle. If someone has interesting or just like really cool things that they do in their spare time, who doesn't want to be friends with them? You have to ask yourself, like, if you're the sort of person that jokes like, oh yeah, all I do is scroll on TikTok, like, like I have no social life, like ask yourself genuinely, like, would you want to be friends with yourself? And like, there's no shame. Like, would you want to be friends with someone that like only ever scrolls on Instagram reels? We all do it from time to time, but like if you have no other hobby or passion, like you have to ask yourself, would you want to be friends with you? The biggest mistake when it comes to hobbies or getting a side hustle that people make, I think, is just spending so much time focusing on like, is this the right one? Is this the correct one? Will this one make me money? Is this the best thing to do? People spend way more time thinking about the side hustle than actually like doing it and getting started. There was a relationship expert that said like a really cool, like she had a really cool way of describing this. She's called Dr. Karen Gurney. She said that people in relationships, but I think it applies to side hustles as well, have a rare and crucial attitude to relationships. They think it's a rare opportunity to get into a relationship. It's crucial. They need to make sure this is the right partner. They'll spend like ages digging and like being an FBI agent, finding out everything about them, and it's crucial. Rather than a trivial and often approach, like I'll meet people all the time. It doesn't matter if this guy is the one. Like we'll just see where it goes. Like it's way more important in a lot of things to have like a trivial and often approach rather than a rare and crucial approach. With your side hustle, don't spend too much time worrying about if it's the right one. If this hobby will make me seem cool and seem interesting, like it's trivial. It's not that important. It doesn't matter. Like just do what feels good for you. And the last habit of highly sociable people is follow up. So imagine this, I just started university, insecure girl, I was 18, 19, I was super shy, literally going into a room would like make me super anxious, I'd have to hype myself up, and there were moments where I'd wait for like a group to come in and I'd like just follow along behind the group because I was too scared to enter a room like on my own. So somehow, some way, I don't know how it happened, I clicked with like 2 girls, we met up, I think we bonded over R&B music, and it just so happened that one of them worked at an R&B club, so I was like, oh my god, like let's go to like an R&B club, let's have a night out. We had a night out, we went out, I think we had a good time. It was cool, it was fun. I can't remember because it was so many years ago, but I think we kind of like, we had a good time, it was fine. And I didn't follow up. I didn't message them. They didn't message me. I didn't hear back from them. And then nothing happened. Like literally nothing happened. It was so weird that we actually had like quite a long night together. We got ready, did our hair and makeup. We were out, like I was in her dorm room. I was bonding with her other friend. It was the 3 of us. We all got along. We were talking about heels. Like you should wear that dress. You should, like, do you know what I mean? Like I spent a solid 6 hours with these girls and we bonded over like our love of music. We had a good night out, but I never met up with them again. And it's all because I didn't follow up. They didn't follow up also, so I can't blame it all on myself. There's an element of like, it goes 2 ways. Don't leave things up to chance. If you click with someone and you have a good time, don't leave it up to chance that like, I'll message them or something will happen. Like, I'm just gonna leave it. Like, if you really want to see them again, you have to follow up. A friendship is only as good as your ability to follow up. If you don't follow up, you can't make friends. Following up can look like a simple text, like oh hey, like I had a really good time, I'd love to meet up again, like are you free Saturday? Following up can look like just replying to their story. Nothing too intense. Don't overthink it. It's trivial. It's often just send a message. Following up can be like when you see them again in real life, like saying hi. And I don't mean like hi from a distance, like you're on the other end of the lecture theatre and you're saying hi. Like go up to them, make the effort, because effort goes a long way, and just say hi face to face. Because if there's one lesson I've learned from university, like don't leave things up to chance. Your friendship is gonna depend on the fact that you follow up. Even when it comes to like being an actual adult and having like a real life job, it's harder to maintain friendships because you're not seeing friends all the time at university or in classes. You have to be so active at the process of following up. Something that I've learned being like a really insecure person, navigating friendships and kind of evolving and becoming more extroverted and more outgoing, is that you think that making friends will fix your loneliness in the way that you feel, but it really won't. I made a video talking about this in a lot more depth, and I think if you enjoyed this video, you'll really enjoy that one. But I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Alright, we have finished the video. It will be in my description below. I think she brought up a lot of good points and showed us how the more sociable people become more sociable, you know? And if you're not all in your head, constantly thinking, oh, what do I look like right now? What do I sound like to this person right now? Am I weird? Do they like me? What are they judging me on? Blah, 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 blah. We worry too much about ourselves. And I heard this advice from a different video back before, but it's stop focusing more on your inner and just look at the other person, see how they're responding. Don't focus on what you have going on because I mean you're already interacting with them, you know? You are presentable enough for the person to interact with you. Now just have a conversation, see how they respond to it. You'll see if they are digging it, you know, it doesn't seem like they want to get away from you or anything. That's all you really need to think about. And, you know, not being creepy, of course, don't just start going off the walls. But yeah, like and subscribe if you liked this one. I also have another one called my Inside Out YouTube Poop Reaction. So I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.